So tell you what I mean. Faithful listeners know that nowadays, the way we've kind of revised our process, in order to make it more affordable for folks, in order to make it more available for a lot more people, and it's really working out. It's been a very happy experiment, I guess you might want to say, and that's why we're continuing to do it. But what we started to do, see, we get too many people coming in to meet with me. Okay, I can't meet with everybody, um, and because of that, um, what we're trying to do is figure out, well, how can we um, make sure that everybody gets the same experience? Well, good attorneys are hard to find. Now I found some, right? And they're working here and doing all great. But still in all, it's difficult. It is difficult. So the way we used to do it was come to a workshop. Here's what we're talking about. We call it now the Three Secrets Workshop. Here's the three things that most people don't appreciate about long-term care, about estate planning in general. The fact that it's a scam, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's the first workshop. And then if that stuff makes sense to you, what we used to do was have you come in and sit down with myself or one of the other attorneys, okay, one on one. And the problem with that is um, that's expensive. And so we didn't give people enough time. And we schedule for an hour and a half, right, per meeting. But still, people didn't think of questions. There are questions people didn't think of, et cetera, et cetera. So um, what we've done now is we said, okay, instead of coming to a one-on-one, which you can do if you want to, we still do that if that's the right fit in your family situation, and we ask about that. But generally speaking, people will come to the first workshop, and if that's of interest to you, it doesn't take very long, right about an hour or less, just to say, look, this is what's going on, and let me show you what's going on and what you might, some ideas that what you might want to do about it. But mostly, it's here's the situation, and if that's okay by you, that the world works the way it does, and you just soon go broke in long-term care and all the rest of that. You don't really care about probate, and if your kids get the stuff or don't get the stuff, what's the difference, right? If that's your attitude, well, don't come to the second workshop. There's no point, right? But if those are things that are of concern, and it's just a very easy, very low, what do I say, low barriers to entry, very easy thing to get involved there, right? Goes quickly, then come back for a little more, for a deeper dive into it, and make some decisions and actually get some stuff done, right? If that's what you've decided, if that's what you decided to do. And so we, 5, 10, 15 families at a time are coming to the second and third workshops. And the key is that you're in a room with other people, all right, with other families who are facing the same sorts of issues that you're facing. And what I found is we're getting an awful lot of folks who've listened to the show for years. They're finally coming in, which is great, because by doing the workshops, what we've done is we've cut the fees by, depending on how you measure it. I think it's more than half, but it's at least half. So it's going through the process this way in a group. Not only is it more, what do you want to say, reassuring, because it's kind of nice. Let's face it, it's kind of nice to be in a room with other people who are just like you in important ways. Not every way, of course, but in significant ways, they're like you. They ask questions. Lots of times, they're asking questions that you would have thought of on the drive home, but now you get the questions answered. And lots of times, you're asking questions that they would have not asked. Okay, so it really works out well in that sense, in kind of a coming together, and that's true throughout the process. Now there is one-on-one time once you've decided who gets what and all the rest. We do go to a one-on-one situation when with the documents, just to make sure that it's exactly your plan. It's exactly what you wanted. But by by doing more of a group approach to a lot of this stuff, the advantage is we get to spend a lot more time with you. You get to hear other people's questions, things that you, as I said before, things you may not have thought of, and now somebody else mentions it, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'd really like the answer to that question," and you can bounce off people, and it's just really, it's working out very well, and what we've seen is that, um participation rates have gone through the roof. I mean, it's really very nice, when, uh, you see folks who are actually now kinda taking charge, making sure that what they need, that they get what they need, and let's face it, when you're I mean, how easy is it's one thing to call to dial in the, it's one thing to, listen to the show, that's all good, we like that, but it's another thing to call in, right? And we have many, many clients who, "Oh, listen to the show for years." And I'm like, "Yeah, I noticed you never called." Okay, well, calling in is difficult, let alone coming to, a lawyer's office, because we do all the workshops, whether it's in Grand Rapids, Norton Shores, Holland, or Portage. Now we're doing them in Lansing as well, over on the MSU campus. We're looking to go next month to Ann Arbor, because the demand is there. There's a lot of people who need to hear this stuff and never heard it before. But moving ahead, right, is very difficult actually to get there. We understand that. That's why we're lowering the barrier, lowering the hopefully, the level of anxiety. So, ooh, I gotta sit in a room with a lawyer. God knows what, you know, blood dripping from his fangs and everything else. Who wants to do that? That's no fun. Well, what if you replace that with a group of folks just like you, and they stuck with you as you go through the process? What we're seeing is people are making friends, and lots of times, and this is fun too. Lots of times, people recognize people that they know, whether it's from church or other organ. They recognize them in the workshop, and kind of renew things. So that's it's been a real positive thing, and we're going to keep going with it into the new year.